Leo, earlier this morning you said it's not necessarily about wins and losses, but sticking to the identity right now going into the playoffs. Did you feel your team was able to do that?
Yeah, I thought, the first 10 minutes they pushed really hard. Obviously, they're fighting to get in the playoffs. I thought we weathered it pretty well. It's just one of those nights where the puck didn't go in the net. I thought we had a lot of really good looks, couple posts. We basically, we turned over one in the first period, a high ice turnover, and then they made a play, really nice shot, and then I think the shots were 8-0 start the second period, and then another high danger turnover to the player that you don't want to turn the puck over to, but overall, like the effort, I thought we competed really hard. I didn't mind our game. I think I didn't like the two goals we gave up, just how we gave them up. But no, guys competed really hard. The goalie was really good, and we couldn't find a way to score.
You guys, like anytime you were shut out this year, you responded the very next night with like almost the complete opposite effort, or the complete opposite result. Do you anticipate the same thing going into the finale?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely, last game of the year, there'll be some guys out of the lineup, for sure. Some guys will stay back. We gotta feel like an NHL team that we're flying out. So, but guys, you'll see a different lineup tomorrow night for sure.
Full circle moment to this flight? Like, we've talked about it all the time. Remember those preseason games with the Sabres, and that's sort of the beginning of what brought this group together.
Yeah, no, it goes by fast, and I just want to make sure we finish. It's been a great season. Just make sure we finish hard, compete, and then get ready to go for the playoffs.
Announced earlier there were a couple of guys that were reassigned pretty much everybody. Do you anticipate any of those guys making your lineup?
We got to decide. Cooley definitely won't play. Kozak definitely won't play. We got to make a couple decisions, but there'll be some guys that stay back for sure.
Are you surprised Kulik is here? Him being here now, does that mean he's here for the duration?
I think so. I don't. It's tough. Like I support. Whatever they chose to do, and I think you could look at it both ways. I do think there's benefits to it, for sure. Just my perspective on, he played 60 games in the NHL. He had a hell of a season, 15 goals. But I think for him to be set up next year to, he's going to be a top 6 player in the NHL. I think there's been a lot of guys, in the history of our league that a similar situation, and there's a lot of really good players that come out of that the next year and have I think when you look at the big picture of it, I think could be really good, playing, I don't want to say it's NHL speed, but the speed was going to be ramped up playoff hockey and have a chance to be a leader on the team. There's been a bunch of guys, Jamie Benn played his whole rookie season in the NHL and then got sent down, didn't play one AHL game at the start didn't play one NHL game his rookie year, and then came down and had a great playoffs and, had a really successful career. Pacer played with Nyquist, played most of the season back when they won, and these are guys that have won championships. The craziest one is probably Getzlaf and Perry. They played a full season in the NHL, full season or postseason in the NHL for Anaheim, and then went down to play in the AHL for one playoff game. I think it was a Game 7. So there's definitely a lot of benefits to it. I think to get him, he's played center a lot, but playing center at that level it's a different animal. Now he had a fantastic year, and I think it could hold big benefits for him and his long-term future at Buffalo. I think when you look at the big picture, at the end of the day, it's not about It's not about me, it's not about Pacer, it's not about Vinny, it's not about Rochester Americans. It's like when situations like this is how do you get him to be the best version of himself so he could have a successful season with the Buffalo Sabres. And I think a lot went into that, and I think a lot of you want to make decisions that are going to benefit the player long term. And I think I can't speak on their half, it's just my perspective, but I do think it could be a really good thing for him going forward.
I'm sorry.
Prowse is going to be out sometime. It's really unfortunate, but he'll be out sometime.
You talk about Cooley coming back, obviously Osti comes back. Just how much does that help the rest of the guys who have been playing center that are going to potentially get popped out to a wing maybe and have more space?
No, good point. I mean, we've probably going back to Laval, we've probably played with two. I would say that probably the past month and a half, we've really only played with two natural centers, and it's really difficult. Guys have done a great job. Wally, Feed, Slags. You know, I talked about it this morning. Like, Wally's done an incredible job, and I think it probably goes unnoticed sometimes what we asked him to do this past month and a half for a 19-year-old kid to play center in the American League. We're not talking about game 1, game 15, game 20. He's thrown into the fire where you're playing against teams that are surviving for the playoffs, fighting, and he did an incredible job. Most likely he's going to go back to the wing, but he did a great job. But it's nice. I'm a firm believer you gotta have depth up the middle if you want to win and go far, and we definitely have that now.
This one tonight, so that's locked in.
Yeah.
Good news, bad news, what do you anticipate?
I think anyone who you're going to play in the division, if you look at how it's gone all year, you're going to anyone who gets out of the North Division or the other division with Hershey, you got a real good chance to go really far. I mean, whether you're playing Toronto, Cleveland, whoever you're playing, it's going to be a tough matchup, and I think it's good to go through that. Syracuse got a lot of respect for their team, how they play. They're really good defensively. They're physical, so it's going to be a big test for our group.
There's one of those nights when the puck doesn't, end at the back of the net. That power play in the third period, did that kind of feel like the final dagger tonight?
Yeah, I don't know if it was one of those nights. Sometimes the pucks just don't go in. He made a lot of really good saves. Yeah, I wouldn't say the dagger, but that would have been nice. I think it changes I don't want to say the outcome of the game, but if you get one there and you got a lot of momentum. But I think the two power plays we had in the third period, we had a lot of really good looks. It just didn't go in. Credit to them. They did a good job blocking shots, but also their goalie. So, yeah, it was just we've scored a lot of goals this season. It's just one of those nights where it didn't go in.
When those two for Toronto are the way they were with just being mistakes, is there almost a silver lining to that, of the fact that ultimately your 5-on-5 defense wasn't giving up those opportunities, it was missteps?
Yeah. No, that's I thought structurally, especially in our own zone, I thought we did a really good job. If you look at the two goals, it's both. One's a breakaway, so a high danger odd man rush that's not structured. It's just, especially we had about 4 shifts in a row in the second period where we were kind of tilting the ice and playing our game, and then we're out there 45 seconds. We try to make a play. And they scored, and then the one at the first period, it wasn't really structured either. We had just a high ice turnover, and then they made a play. So yeah, I think structurally, I think we were good, and I think the last 3 games have been good for our group. The Laval game, the game against Cleveland, 2 really good teams. I think we're at 1.3 expected goals against. So anytime you're defending, I'm sure tonight will be somewhere around there too, where we didn't give them much, but the chances they got, they did a good job and they scored on those.
Assuming he doesn't play tomorrow, what are kind of your thoughts on his overall season as in that?
He's, Dev, I'll say it again, we're not here without Dev. He's done a really good job for us. He's responded well all season, and now, he's going to have to be really good and elevate in playoff series. And I can't, without I think it goes unnoticed sometimes. Like Sandy went hopefully he wins tomorrow, but he went 11-4. He's won 7 games in a row until his last game. Like, he's done a fantastic job, and I think it sometimes goes unnoticed. Dev's playing a lot of games, so you got to have a partner there that supports you and believes in you and understands the situation. And I don't think we're talking about Dev without also Sandy and House of what they meant to him and their relationship, together. Because it's tough too for a backup goalie to only play 2 starts a month. But every time he's come in, I mean, he had I don't think he lost a game in 2 months. He's another one. We're not here without. He went 11-4. He goes 500 in those games he starts. Like, we're not at 42 wins for sure. So I think it's important too to also, those other guys have been they're a great team tandem. They're really selfless, and it's awesome.